All right, welcome to Blitz. I'm Brian Carter. We're here at Dawson County High School with Jed Lacey. 8th year, I think, head coach here at Dawson County.
Yes, sir.
It's been an awesome 8 years for you. Let's talk a little about you. You coach the boys and the girls team, but
Yes,
we'll
sir.
focus first on the girls. A great year for you, actually on both sides. Once again, you take both teams to the Elite Eight, so some great runs there. I think the girls have done it twice now in the last 4 years.
Yes, sir.
First time for the boys in a while.
Yes.
As far as the girls season goes, again, it was an incredible run, but I know you and I have talked many times before, and this was a year that you felt like this team could go even further than that. I'm sure that pill's a little hard to swallow, but it is a great season when you look back at it.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, anytime you get to Elite Eight, you know, it's a successful season. But what I thought we could do and where I thought we were going to go with this, I mean, I thought we could win it all this year. But, you know, I could cry about injuries and all that, but everybody else has injuries too. So, but the injuries took a toll on us. We lost Taylor Bennett, who was our, she's our top offensive player. Nella, we lost our keeper, one of the best keepers in the state. Had to bring freshmen in to take their spots. I mean, it took a major injury. We had other injuries on the team that girls went down, but, you know, if we'd have fallen on the other side of the bracket, if other things would have fell in place, I think we'd have played for the state championship game against Westminster. I thought we were that good.
Well, the worst part when you look at that is some of those key injuries you had in Nella Melton and Taylor Bennett. Again, they're seniors, so they're moving on.
Right.
That's really hard to take that, but like you said, you got some of the underclassmen to step in. How big a role is that going to play for them moving forward?
Well, here's what was weird about that. I mean, Taylor Bennett's probably the best offensive player we've ever played at this program. She's going to play at Bernal. What's funny is Nella Melton, they both signed it. There were lots of two players, and they both signed at Bernal. So Marilyn Anderson, the coach, one that did the recruiting over there, I don't know if she's real happy, but you know, she's getting both in. But losing those, we had the mentality next man up.
Yeah.
So we brought in a freshman keeper. She, Ashley Stanfield. She did a good job for us filling in. And then we slid, Mackenzie Callis from the other side over, and then get Brooke Cagle a chance to start up top. And we ended up scoring, 30 goals, or what was it, 30 goals in 4 games or something. So it really stepped it up. But we had to change our whole offense up. But for the future, it helped us. But I didn't want the future. I wanted now. So you just can't replace a Taylor Bennett. There's no possible way. So
it's crazy because your offense, I believe, scored 76 goals this year. The defense only allowed 4 goals within the region, and I believe it was something around 12 to 14 overall for the whole year. It's hard to tell on the girls' side which was the bread and butter originally. Was it the defense or the offense, or was it just supposed to both line
We've
up?
always been built on defense. I mean, with the keepers we've had come through here, Nella Melton, we've been blessed for 4 years. Kenneth Seitz before her.
Yeah.
We've had some great keepers come through here. Hopefully the tradition goes. Ashley's doing a good job. My daughter's coming up next year, so we built the defense. We've always had great athletes that are true soccer players playing defense, and I think we built from the back up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you have a Taylor Bennett, you have McKay Shibley, Tina LeBeau, now Mackenzie Callis, Emily Queen. You just got a lot of good players we have, but we start from the back up because we figured if you can't score on us, we're not going to lose.
And you mentioned your daughter. I know she's up and coming.
Yeah,
she's starting next year. I'm sure the job will be hers as far as what you maybe.
Well, I'm hoping she's got to win it. She's got to win it.
Right.
She's got to go head to head with Ashley Stanfield. They're going to go head to head, and best girl wins. I'm not going to, it's just what it is. So she's
how excited? Let me ask you this, because I know I've seen a lot of coaches get to a point where they'll coach their kid and then they walk away. I can't see you stepping away from soccer anytime soon.
I don't know. That's my life. I mean, I think next time I get quitting soccer, you put me in a pine box. That's when I'm stepping away. So
let's talk about the state playoffs with the girls. Okay. You got the number 2 seed out of the region, so you got to host, I think, two of the games at home, right? Is that right?
One. The first one we had
Morgan County. Then you played Peach County, pretty much rolled through them, and then you kind of ran into the buzzsaw of Westminster. They're a great team. Talk about that game and what that was like going in.
That was a great. We playing Westminster. They were like the same pies last year. I mean, they were loaded. They had ECNL players. Best team we've seen all year. There's no doubt. If we had Taylor Bennett, we had Nella Melton, we had Summer Armstrong, we had everybody on the field, we might have been able to hang with them.
Yeah.
But again, I think they're the better the best team won the state championship. There's no doubt. I mean, we could have gave them something, but playing the young girls against them without a Taylor Bennett leading the team, without a Nella Melton leading the team, we did the best we could. It was a 3-0 game. The last 2 goals of the game, I put all the little girls.
Sure, get them some experience. So it's interesting you talk about them, and we talked a lot about them. The 2 injuries to your 2 biggest star players potentially. How do you deal with that as a coach? I know that's got to just be eating you up inside.
We didn't build the program for one person. I mean, that's not the way it was. We run a system, and you fill people in for it. But losing to Taylor Bennett, which is powerful, she's as good as she is. I mean, she's going next level. You know, Mel Melton, best keeper I've ever had in my life, going next level. You can't feel that at the time. I mean, we just didn't have somebody waiting there to go, okay, you know, 19 goals were sitting there. Who's going to pick that up? You know what I mean? Nella Melton, the all-time leading keeper here for shutouts. You're asking a freshman to step in, which actually did a good job. But you're not going to beat Westminster without those two. It's not going to happen. So we went as far as we were going to go. We were going to go as far as till we met Westminster. That's how far we were going to go. So.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Talk about the boys.
Okay.
12-4, a couple of ties in there, I believe, as well. A couple of draws. At one point, ranked number 1 in the state. How did they deal with that pressure throughout the year with the expectations? Again, I know you had talked last year about this year being the year for the boys.
Okay. There's no doubt. I think we were the number 1 team in the state. I thought we should have won state. Again, we dealt with some situations, personal situation, lost one of our players for a personal situation. Tremendous outside, you know, Alex Sanchez was a tremendous outside mid. We lost him the night before we played West Hall. Couldn't cover from that because we weren't ready to play without him. That hurt us. We went to overtime, you know, lost in overtime. And then discipline hurt us a couple of times. I think, you know, we had some kids they ran their mouth on the field at the wrong time. We paid a price for having a red card and in a big game. So, you know, overall, I thought we could have played for the state championship. There's no doubt. And I thought we were as good as anybody in 3A.
And I believe you told me at one point, somewhere around the Banks County game, where you had to basically shuffle your whole lineup. Is that right?
Yeah. We got to that game and we just started getting, you know, injuries started coming about, but not major ones like the girls' side. But just, you know, we had some problems with, you know, losing our center mid when Sal got his red card. And he got sent out. That was a major play. That's one of our best center mids. I mean, that was a big time move. So we had to end up moving everybody. And but it worked out for us. You know, we went to the playoffs for the new lineup because Sal had us sit out the last 2 games, first 2 rounds of state, and we made it through. We played Island, which was a tremendous team, really fast team. Real surprised by how good they were. They did a good job down there. So you know, then we had to come back and play Decatur. End up losing to Decatur. But I think as a coach, I made a major mistake agreeing to playing in the daytime. I think we play at night, we win. Our kids weren't acclimated to the heat. It was over 100 degrees on the carpet.
Jeez.
Our shoes were melting. I had to keep putting water in the kids' shoes, and then we had to tape the shoes together so it would melt up. It was a bad situation. So, but we play at night. I think we win, but that's coulda, shoulda, woulda. They beat us. They moved on. So, but I just think boys hurt because I think, you know, the girls are a machine. We're gonna be. It's a good team again next year. The boys, we're going to have to retool. That's 8 seniors leaving. You know, that's 7 starters.
Yeah, and so let's talk about one of those seniors, Brandon Lund. I mean, he's the equivalent as what you're losing in Taylor Bennett, but on the boys' side, I believe he had, 19 goals this year or something like that?
19 goals.
Ridiculous.
16 assists.
Unbelievable. So what's that like losing him? Again, I know, like you said, no program should be built around one person, but it still hurts.
We're going to have to rechange who we are. Our personality of our team and the face of our team is going to be different next year. For the first time in 8 years, we've run pretty much the same formation, the 3-5-2. We've run that since I've been here. Well, we're going to have to switch that next year. We're going to be a completely different team next year. And Brandon's, we've had the blessing to have him for 4 years, started for 4 years. Had Sal for 4 years. We've had a lot of 4-year starters. This was our year. Next, we're going to be young. We're going to be a brand new team, so we're going to be switching our formation up. The face of the organization is going to be different. Our expectations will be the exact same. We're going to go to state. We're going to go as far as we can, and if God bless us, we can win it. We can win it. But it's going to be a different team, and it's going to be a rebuilding year. We haven't been there. We haven't been in a rebuilding year as much as we will next year. It'll be the first time we're having to rebuild.
I believe it's 8 years in a row the boys have made it now.
7 out of 8.
Seven out of 8.
We didn't go, so 7 out of 8 we've gone, and then the girls have had 5, and the last 4 we made it to state every year.
So it's a rebuilding year for you. Are we talking about first or second round of state, or are we? I mean, because some teams would be blessed to have that, but
we're that's all right. We won't go anything less than. I mean, if we're going to make the playoffs, I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's, you know, I plan on making the state playoffs. That's just waiting. Now, if we go first round, second round, first year while rebuilding, hey, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But that's our goal, and I think we have the expectation we can do that. So
you had 8 boys that are seniors and leaving. How many girls?
8.
8 as well. So you got 16 total seniors that mean a lot to this program. And again, girls have made it 6 out of the last 7 years. Boys, as you said, 7 of the last 8. What do you kind of tell the rest of the underclassmen anything to kind of pay attention to what they're doing?
We do. They know that we have a Tiger way to play. I mean, we're a very physical team. We have a system we run. We do the system well. You know what I mean? And we have so many good players ahead of the girls and the boys. They had great role models to watch. You know what I mean? They should know. They should, when they go in, if they watch their players play, they sure know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Just like with Taylor Bennett and when Callis had to switch sides and go to her side, she did a great job over there. Now she's younger and wasn't going to do the way Taylor played, but she did an adequate job, and we did switch the position up. But the younger players, we do talk to them about how the older players do it, how the Tiger way. And you know, it's tradition, and then next year's girls team is going to be fine. I mean, it's not Taylor Bennett, it's not that team, but that team's loaded next year. Our girls team's going to be loaded next year. It's just we got a lot of good players coming in. There's probably going to be 5 freshmen playing varsity next year. So there's a good group coming in the next 2-3 years. So we're sitting pretty good.
All that being said, what would be, when you look in that crystal ball, what are your predictions for next year? I mean, what is it that you're going to be able to look back and say next year's successful if the girls get this far and the boys get this far?
I think the girls can win state next year. I think they can win state. I mean, we're a different team. We're switching up. With the system we ran with Taylor, it was one way to do it. We've had to change that. But here's the blessing of, if it had to happen, the system we were going to go to next year, we already put in because Taylor was gone, and we had to put that system in. They already know it now. Yeah. We just got to, we're going to go out to camp this summer, do our thing this summer, get them ready for this summer to get ready to play next year, and so we have a little time to work on what we're doing. So the system's already in. So I'm expecting the girls they're going to be older. We got some girls that can play. That we had so many sophomores starting, even we had sophomores start. We got a lot of returning starters, and because of the injuries, so many more girls got to play.
This is a blessing in disguise type thing. So the last question for you, and this will segue perfectly into what's coming up next, which is an interview with Taylor Bennett. What do you tell her? Because I was at that game against Banks County where she went down. She came off on her own power, and I was eavesdropping, trying to figure out how bad it really was, and I overheard her say that it felt like dead leg. It didn't look that bad. What do you tell her when ultimately her season's over after that?
Well,
career.
After I got done crying, and we got past that stage, I just it was hard because she had to call me and tell me that her ACL was torn, and that was it. And I mean, to have a career she had, a 4-year starter, a 3-year captain, one of the greatest players who will ever step foot with a uniform on in this program. It was heartbreaking. She was the heart and soul of the team. I mean, she was a leader of this team. To lose her, it broke my heart. I mean, didn't know her because she wanted the state championship. I mean, we went off to camp this summer, and I mean, she was a leader. She stepped forward. She was the Pied Piper. Everybody got behind her. And losing her when she got hurt, it hurt. I mean, we took a number. We had to have somebody else step up, and I don't think we really ever had that. No one ever really took the flag and ran with it the way Taylor did, because that's who they counted on. And for Taylor to tell me she tore ACL, it was a touching moment. I mean, it was a sad moment because it was 4 glorious years for those girls. The girls group has never not known the state playoffs. They've always known the state playoffs. They've always known Taylor. This group here, she's a senior. That's who even when Taylor was a freshman, she was a leader. You know what I mean? Now their leader was out. It was like, okay, wow, this is different. It was hard for us. I give credit for the girls what they did, but it was without Taylor, it was hard.
One day we'll look back on this, and I mean, still it's an Elite 8 run, so a great year for both of your programs. Coach Lacey, I always appreciate having you on and talk about your classy teams that you have. You're one of the best teams in the state on both sides. You don't get to see that very often, so really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have Taylor Bennett here on Blitz.